What's up, everybody? I'm Jerry Gamer, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're back as the Monster Hunter, and I'm going to answer a question that's always been asking me. DJ, I'm trying to make some builds. What's the most effective skill used for? I would say this is going to be geared towards longsword, but it can be used for greatsword, any melee weapons, particularly to say which skills of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attacking skills are the most beneficial, the top 5 in my opinion. And I would love to hear below what you guys think are the top 5 in your opinion. But what I'm going to do is just kind of categorize them based on my experience playing the game and some things I've learned along the way. So my fan, without further ado, let's dive in. So here we have it. So not every single body has all the godly jewels available to them. They don't have a challenger forward, they don't have a million attack forwards, expert forwards, flawless jewels, challenger jewels. They're saying DG, if I have a limited amount of jewels because I haven't got lucky, I haven't been blessed by RNG, or I don't play as much to grind as much, what skill should I prioritize first? So if I were you, and so this is name all the attacking skills. First of all, we have attack boost, which increases your attack. I'll kind of go into them all of them so you guys can kind of see. Attack boost increases your attack. At level 7, you get 21 attack fix, and you get plus 5% affinity. Okay. Then we have critical eye, which gives you 40% affinity at level 7. Agitator, if you have agitator secret, you have 28 attack and 20% affinity. With agitator, the monster must be enraged. The monster must be angry, typically. Then after that, we have critical boost, which at level 3 increases. I'm not going to talk about any other levels besides level 3. You can do that if you want to. But increases damage dealt by critical hits by 40%. Then I have weakness exploit. Attack that hits weak points have 30% increased affinity, weak points, and extra 20% on wounded parts. What is wounded? Tenderized. If it's tenderized, you get an additional 20%. So you have a chance of getting 50% affinity in addition to what your base affinity is by hitting a weak spot if it's wounded or tenderized. Then we have P performance, which while active, grants you a static 20 damage. So of those skills, which ones for you prioritize first? So for me, typically what I would do if I were you is typically you're gonna get the most damage by percentage increase. So the difference if I get, say you have 100, right? Say you have 1,000. If I do additional 10 damage, that's 10 raw to my attack. But if I do an additional 10, that's 10%. That's 100 damage. So percentages are always gonna guarantee more attack in this game compared to raw attack. So what I would focus on first is critical eye to get your affinity up. So what does affinity do? Increases your chance to crit. Whenever you hit a monster, you see the number, the little star right under the number, that tells you your critical amount. So if you get a critical attack, you get more damage, you're critting. So now the benefit of that is if you're gonna do critical eye first, which I think is the most important number 1 skill, number 2 has to go with critical boost. What does critical boost do? Increases your damage dealt by 40% on critical hits. So the goal number 1 is to crit as much as possible. And how do you crit as much as possible? There's multiple ways to get there. So let's take, for example, this weapon, it might be a little hard to get for some people. You haven't beat Fatalis yet, but take a look at this. Oh, it's actually good. This is a good weapon to look at because this weapon has negative 30 affinity. So you're looking at this weapon like, DG, why use this weapon? Something's trash. It's negative 30% affinity, meaning you have to max out all the other affinity plus skills in order to get up. And so you start critting every single time because the goal is to crit every single time because I want to activate crit boost, which gives me the additional 40% damage increase. So if you listen, for example, you look at other weapons, we'll go through the list really quick, and you can see what other weapons their affinity varies. This one gives you, this is stay for longsword for now. Let's look at the longswords. Yeah, sort by here. So Safi blade gives you base 5 affinity, which is going to be pretty good. This one gives you negative 30, and you don't worry about it, just waste to negate it. This one's is negative 15. So as you can see, they vary all across the board. 10% as well. So The goal is to get rid of the negative affinity and increase your affinity to at least, I'm comfortable with 80% is kind of high, 80%, 85% is better. Anything better than 80s are good. I think you don't want to go below 80% affinity, because that means 10 hits, 8 of them most likely will crit, and the other 2 won't. And the goal in this game is to do as much damage as possible. The more you're critting, the more damage you're doing. The more damage you're doing, the more stun you're doing the monster. The more stun you're doing the monster, faster it dies. That's the goal of the game, to kill the monster as fast as possible. That's how you get those juicy times. So, for short, Affinity is key in Iceborne. In base game, most attack, but Affinity is key in this one. Next skill. So, critical eye, repeat, critical boost. And you could say weakness exploit would be my third one. Why? Because you want to make sure you're critting. So to help you with that negative 30 affinity I have on this weapon, if I hit a weak spot, I negate it. I'm now at 0% affinity. None of my hits are gonna be critical. But if I tenderize, remember I get 50% with this skill. If I tenderize, let me put it on there so you guys can follow along. If I tenderize, I get 50%. So that means I'm at 20% with the weapon I have currently equipped. Cool. So now I have that weakness exploit. I'm already at 20. So the goal is to know what your monster weak spots are. How do you know weak spots? When you hit the monster, you get the shiny yellow. That means you're hitting the weak spot. If you're getting the white, that means you're not. So make sure you, for the majority of the time, hit monsters at different points of their body so you can identify if you're getting the weak spot or not. The next thing I'll focus on, so just to reflect really quick, critical eye 1, critical boost 2, weakness exploit. Even weakness exploit might be better than critical boost, because there's no point in getting critical boost damage increase if you're not critting in the first place. So I might even just put weakness exploit on the number 2 and critical boost on 3, because those two pair very, very well. Then I would put Agitator. So in Iceborne, the monsters are always agitated. And there's a cool way that you can literally instantly get the monster agitated, is if you jump on his head and turn the direction 3 times on PlayStation B circle, hit that 3 times, turn, spin, 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 then tenderize on the last one. You're gonna get the instant tenderization, and you're gonna spin it around 3 times, and you can do that at any point. The second you do that, then the monster will be tenderized and angry. At that point, Agitator will kick in. So Agitator, what does Agitator do? Agitator is amazing because with Agitator Secret, grants you 28% attack, and more importantly, 20% affinity. So keep the monster aggro, will beat you at 20% affinity, and you get that additional attack. Then say you have extra slottage, right? Extra jewels, you have attack jewels, you're like, okay, I already got DG, I'm listening. I got critical eye maxed out, I got critical boost, weakness exploit, Agitator's looking good. What do I do next? At that point, then I'll throw the rest into attack boost. Attack boost is only beneficial plus level 4. If you're gonna put anything with attack boost and not max it out, only go up to negative level 4. Why? Because as you can see, you get 12 attack, but more importantly, you get 5% affinity increase. And what I've been saying the whole video, the reason you want infinity is because it increases the damage you're gonna be doing. So that's the focus point here, is focus on that. Then say you max out everything. DG, I got the godly jewels, I'm feeling good. I got attack maxed out, critical eye maxed out, Agitator, crit boost, weakness exploit. At that point, then you can get crafty if you want. One skill I really love using is peak performance. And why peak performance? Because it challenges me to play better. A lot of people say peak performance is not worth it because you can't keep your health full. Well, if you can't keep your health full, that means you got to play better. So for me, it's a challenge every single day to counter better, use my foresight so I can maintain that additional 20 attack damage. So if you're using peak performance, the number 1 skill set you want to use on your augmentation for your weapons is health regen. Health regen gets you to increase every single time you deal damage, you heal. A lot of people ask me, yes, Iceborne's been out for 2 years now, but a lot of people still ask me, DJ, how are you healing while you're attacking? Because I have augmentation and health regen. And you can't unlock this until you do master rank 100 in the Guiding Lands, so you can start fighting tempered elders. So if you want to know how to get the health regen, look it up on YouTube. That's a short, you have to farm essentially tempered Namiya. So with affinity, So let's see right now, for example. So for this weapon has negative 30 affinity, right? So right now I have negative 30 affinity. If I do the math correctly, I am at with critical eye, that's 40. So I'm at 10% affinity. Agitator, that's 20. That's 30% affinity. That's 30. Then if I do weakness exploit, tenderize, and hit a weak spot, that's 50. So I'm at 80% affinity. Plus attack boost puts me at 85% affinity. So I have a couple options here. If I want to guarantee my affinity and put it at 95%, I could do a couple of things. One, I can go my boy Smithy over here and augment my weapon for affinity. And this increases my affinity by 10%, giving me the 95%, essentially saying every single one of my attacks is gonna crit. Or for me in this situation, I like putting attack boost because it's a numbers game. If I am increasing if I increase my overall raw damage attack I'm doing, then my crit is gonna be a calculation above my raw. So I'm gonna do even more damage. So it gets to the point again, diminishing returns. Diminishing returns meaning that as I go up to 95, I will not gain that much benefit from putting the affinity versus increasing my raw. That's why I opted out of using affinity to get to 95. Instead, I went with attack to give me even more raw damage, which will crit even higher. So this is my journey with this weapon, and one, taking advantage of the higher attack on this weapon, but also taking advantage, negating the negative 30% affinity and getting to 85 and still doing really good damage on the set. So then we can look at some other skills of what are benefit to a longsword. This is like a bonus segment of the video. So now you got your attack, critical, agitator, everything's maxed out. You've been grinding forever, you got all the jewels and you're just lucky like that. Other skill sets that are beneficial are handicraft is a good one as well, because handicraft allows you to maintain your sharpness. Maintain your sharpness, you do more damage. This weapon has purple sharpness on it, but by using handicraft, I get additional, I believe, 30 more hits of purple. You can use the, I think it's called honey butter build set to make your builds and let you know exactly how much hits you'll get with each handicraft level. I'm thinking right now I get additional 30, which is good. Also too, with this Vitalis armor is like absolutely godly. Level 4 gives you razor sharp, so that means you're even taking less sharpness decreasing, which every single hit you do. So with this one, on most monsters, I only need to have one level handicraft, but based on some of the monsters I've been fighting, like 2-3 levels was good because it makes me maintain my purple sharpness the whole time, so my damage stays high. So for longsword, these are skills you want to have, take advantage of. Evade window is one that it gives you more iframes per attack on foresight, so that's beneficial. You want to use that one. Quick sheet comes with my leg piece, but also the leg piece comes with 3 levels of peak performance. That's why I'm using it. Quick sheet is not that good for longsword at all because that special sheet, the increase in speed to sheet your weapon is not worth it, and it's extremely slow. Capcom needs to buff that. So for now, it's just there for looks, but the main skill I'm taking advantage of from that says peak performance. Other than that, beta extender, another one. Coalescence is another skill that's, I feel it's, I don't like situational skills like this one. If you get to fight a monster with blight, you're good. Like you're fighting Valky, fighting Fatalis, Kofta Rock, you know you're gonna get caught on fire, you know you're gonna get some dragon blight or some water blight with some other nonsense, then yeah, absolutely take advantage of it and put it on your set. But like, it's one of those things where like I put it on just in case, but it can be useless depending on the monster you're fighting. And lastly, the new Clutch Claw boost. I highly recommend for every single light weapon to put that one on because it allows you to tenderize in one shot. And since they added new buffs to tenderization, one, the monster stays tender for tenderize for 3 minutes. Also too, when you jump on the monster, you could jump off. You have enough time to get from yellow gauge to red gauge with your longsword combo. Highly recommend taking advantage of those points where the monster gets staggered. Also too, you get even more damage. You unlock the damage you're supposed to get by tenderizing that one piece. So that's why I recommend it. Medicine Jewel, because at this point I had nothing else I wanted to put on there. It's beneficial for Rocksteady because this one has Divine Blessing 5 on it, so it helps me maintain my peak performance because I heal more with each hit. I believe this one gives me 20% with this. Yeah, when it's active, since I have 2 levels in, I recover 20% more with each hit, which helps me keep my health full which helps me keep peak performance up, which helps me keep my damage up. So the goal with these builds is to make sure everything you're using works together to maintain that damage. So, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys learned something. If you guys have any other like thoughts or like suggestions or things as well, tips as well to share, put them in the comment below. One thing I love about the Monster Hunter community, we're always learning and find new ways to optimize our sets. If you're new, make sure you guys subscribe. We stream on Twitch all the time. Follow us there as well. Links in the description. The next on my family, dear gamers, signing out.